Hello, Defense Attorney Mark Rosenfeld here. Wanted to go over another question I often get, which is how do you deal with eyewitness testimony? Everybody waits in court for that moment in the trial where a witness takes the stand and is asked to identify the person they saw commit the crime, whatever that may be. And there's a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration in dealing with that witness on the stand and how they are identifying the person they believe committed a crime. And many times they may honestly believe that that person committed a crime, but they may be honestly mistaken. And it's very important when dealing with an eyewitness issue, if that is the central point of a trial or a case, because somebody else committed the crime and your client was wrongfully charged, it's very important to have an expert in eyewitness identification to be able to aid in preparing the case, in conducting the cross-examination of the witness or witnesses, as well as putting on that expert as a defense witness to be able to explain in more detail what's going on. Misidentifications, where an eyewitness mistakenly thinks that they have one person when it was really somebody else, is actually fairly common. And there's a lot of factors that come into play that make it more likely to have this misidentification or wrong identification. We need to look at many of the factors. How long did this encounter go on where the witness had an opportunity to observe? Did the witness know the person? Was there a pre-existing relationship where they would be able to identify them? What about gender and race? Is it going across racial lines? What are the physical conditions at the time? Lighting conditions, distance conditions. All of these factors can have an effect on a person's ability to recall. Many times we think the human mind is like a video recorder where it's going to record and repeat back and play back in the mind exactly how things happened out in the field or out in the real world, and that's just not always the case. Many times law enforcement, whether they're doing it intentionally or accidentally, will misguide a witness. They may be out in the field, they may decide they need to do a field show-up where they take a witness and drive them to a different location or take them to the station maybe and do a quick identification. These can be fraught with errors. There can be a lot of problems with this. It's in the middle of the night, it's dark, the person's in the back of a car, the other person is being detained, they're in handcuffs on the side of the road, sitting on the curb. It's very suggestive. We also have suggestion problems when the police officers do a lineup, or what's more common now is a photo lineup or a six-pack, where the police officers will take their suspect and take a picture and then collect some other pictures of people who should be similar looking and put them into a photo array, like a six photographs on a page, and then ask the person if they can identify who it was they thought was the perpetrator of the crime. Police officers can be unduly suggestive in this practice because they know, or I've seen situations where the one picture is done at a police station and the 5 other pictures are done at the Department of Motor Vehicles. The background is different, or the way that the person looks is different. They may be having a suspect who's Hispanic and the six-pack, the 5 other people are other races, and that could, lead the person to only one conclusion. So there's a lot of things that can come up in an eyewitness identification that can be in error. So it's important to do a proper investigation, work with an expert where possible to make sure that you get all of the information and understand what all the issues are to be able to cross-examine the witnesses at the time of trial and show that even honest people can make mistakes, and sometimes it's downright intentional and therefore is unreliable. And with a lot of work, Hopefully the jury will understand the issues and do the right thing. If you've got questions about eyewitness identification in a criminal matter, I practice in Southern California. My office is in Beverly Hills, and you can reach me at 310-424-3145. Take care, be safe.